Alrighty, what's going on, guys? HJD here, and as you can tell from the title, we're going to be talking about Sasori of the Red Sand. Now, how did he get this moniker? Sasori of the Red Sand was a very vital, dangerous piece of the Third Great Shinobi World War. He got the nickname Sasori of the Red Sand was because he painted the blood of his enemies in the sand, and that turned the sand red. Meaning he killed so many people that there was not 1 ounce of regular colored sand in his area. So, how dangerous and how powerful is this puppet master? Well, his strength is he overwhelmed Kankuro, and he overwhelmed both Sakura and Chiyo to the point where I genuinely believe if one of them was out of that fight, let's just say Sakura wasn't with Chiyo or Chiyo wasn't with Sakura, they would have lost. Sakura needed Chiyo for, obviously, prior knowledge of who she was going up against and to watch her back. Chiyo needed Sakura because she had the youthful body to actually damage and take down Sasori. Both of them needed each other. They were both equally as important in that fight. As for speed, he managed to sneak behind Chiyo, who is a very experienced high level ninja. I believe she's a Jonin. And he can also fly with his iron wings. As for his intelligence, sorry about that. He's a master of puppetry, capable of flawlessly manipulating puppets with grace and extreme precision at high speeds, which to me does clarify to me that he is a very quick thinker. He is also an expert in infiltration and managed to hide his true appearance from others except for a select few. He only really showed his true appearance to people that he so chose, until his puppet was destroyed. He's a great manipulator as he managed to turn several loyal shinobi into spies for their respective villages. And his knowledge of poison makes him an expert at silent kills, which kind of leads me in the direction that he has some sort of medical savvy in his brain. Because if you are going to conduct poisons, you might as well know what the fuck you're doing and how to properly and obviously quickly kill someone. So if you are to quickly kill someone, you must know a decent amount of anatomy. And what part of the body you should go for. He also has great battle intelligence, considering he was part of both the Third Great Ninja War and part of the Akatsuki, meaning he was worthy enough to recruit. In both instances, he was worthy of being recruited for the World War to fight off different shinobi in different villages, and being offered into the Akatsuki of just borderline no low level like ninja outside of maybe Hidan, and even then Hidan I'd say is like high Kage level, considering he could swap hands with Asuma somewhat. And as for his hacks are his no cure or no known cure poisons and his iron sand. Now, why did I put iron sand as a hacks? I usually wouldn't put something like that there. I put it there due to its infusion with poison. Yes, you heard me right. His sand is poisonous. His sand. Do you know how small sand can be? And how much poison it takes to kill someone? Not a lot. Doesn't take a lot of poison to kill a person. And sand is very, very tiny. As for his stamina and chakra reserves, the reason I put these together is because they kind of correlate with each other. If you run out of chakra, you begin to get very tired. And he has infinite stamina. He has no lungs because he is a puppet. He has a puppet body, which means he has no use for lungs. He doesn't get tired. As for his durability, he took a full force punch from Shippuden Sakura and reconnected like nothing ever happened. And the only way to kill him is stabbing him through his core. Not punching his core, stabbing it. If that thing isn't stabbed or disintegrated, Sasori's coming back to life. As for his endurance, it goes on for as long as he wants, as long as that core is protected. As long as that core is okay, he can go for as long as he wants. Sure, it's like a cheap way of saying regeneration, but he doesn't really regenerate. If he, for example, loses an arm and he can't get it back, he's gonna have to make a new one. But it's not like it's gonna harm him. Like if you chop off his arm, it's not gonna hurt him at all. But he will lose that arm, and he has to make a new one. So it's kind of like a pseudo immortality, and he has to constantly rebuild his body and fix it if it does get damaged. Now, what's his reaction speed like? Well, obviously, he can react to Kankuro and his numerous puppets, so he can react to multiple opponents at once. Another good example of this is Sakura, Chio, and her puppets. Multiple opponents. Probably, 13 opponents, I'm pretty sure? 12? Pretty sure there was 12 people he had to keep track of and control all of his puppets at the same time, so this man can multitask like a bitch. What's his combat speed like? Well, he has 1,000 puppet jutsu where he just summons 1,000 puppets out of his ass and decides to just hit you with that. Or he can fire iron sand projectiles. He was so fast that Sakura needed assistance from Chio to pull her away from attacks. So again, if Chio was not there, Sakura would have died. He can fire hundreds of needles at a target, and his third Kazekage puppet can fire thousands of hands at the target. He also has a jutsu called the Iron Sand World Method. Now, this technique is it uses iron sand to create a giant sphere of branching spikes. So, how does that come to be? Well, the user first creates two masses of iron sand of opposing magnetic fields and then merges them together. This causes the magnetic fields to instantly increase and then repel the force created by the two opposing magnetic fields, shatters the iron sand across a vast area, making it a massive pain in the ass for any kind of person who doesn't want to deal with area of effect attacks. This attack creates a large area of devastation. This is probably the jutsu he used to paint the sand red. The iron sand spreads in spikes that branch off irregularly, making it almost impossible to make a clear overview of what is happening and to keep track of where each spike goes. This also, in turn, makes evading the spikes nearly impossible, as we saw in the anime. Even if the opponent has managed to somehow evade getting hit, the iron sands were filled with poison. Sasori coats his iron sand with poison, which makes this technique even deadlier. And what makes this technique even more deadly is this attack will definitely make you have no escape route, leaving the user, Sasori, free to attack you. And again, with the poison, all it takes is one scratch, and it'll introduce enough poison into your body to kill you. That's what I like about Sasori. He is a poison user. You don't need to be precise. You don't need to be overly powerful. Just use poison. Poison will kill almost anything, if it's obviously the correct one. Speaking of his offense, what's his offense like? Well, as I said before, his Iron Sand can be used to create numerous things. Think of Gaara or any other sand user like Rasa. He can basically do the same thing with Iron Sand. He can fire Iron Sand projectiles, make it a spear, make it a hammer, a shield. He can make black iron wings that can shoot projectiles in the air. The technique I just mentioned, the Iron Sand World Method, can fire hundreds of needles at the target, can control people that are weak enough with his strings. He has a needle arm that he can stab you with, and it's not even a needle. It might as well be a fucking spike. His third Kazekage puppet can fire thousands of hands at the target, like I mentioned earlier. But his defense isn't so ironclad. Again, his Iron Sand can be used as a shield, and he can also control people that are weaker than him with his strings. Now, his weaponry is probably the biggest I've seen, probably the biggest in the Akatsuki. He has a flamethrower, 100 puppet army, Iron Sand, sickles, poison, buzzsaws, senbon, swords, the third Kazekage puppet, and even his little scorpion puppet he used. I forgot the name. Obviously, it'll be on screen. But even that, it had a poison-tipped scorpion-like tail whip. He probably has, honestly, my favorite fighting technique. It's just using poison. Now, what's his taijutsu like? His taijutsu isn't that impressive. He didn't really fight anybody in close quarters unless it was with a weapon. He's very good at not very good, but he is decent with kenjutsu, not so much taijutsu. We don't really ever see him go hand to hand for an extended period of time to get me to confirm if he's good or bad. I'd say he's below average. He's definitely not a Akatsuki level in that department, but he's not in the Akatsuki for being a taijutsu genius. He's there because he engineers poison and puppetry. That's why he's in the Akatsuki. His puppets and his poison. How strong is Sasori? That's the question we have to answer today. He is definitely well over Kage level. He, again, managed to rival the third Kazekage and Granny Chiyo. Those are people he managed to be on par with Orochimaru being a candidate for the fourth Hokage role. Due to why he was chosen, I couldn't tell you. I don't know what the fuck Hiruzen was thinking. Orochimaru was a weirdo from the fucking start. Sure, an outcast, but we're not here to talk about Orochimaru. But Sasori is definitely, I'd say, mid Kage level to high Kage level, you know? Mid to high. He's a very, very dangerous opponent that with one nick can kill you. That's who we're dealing with here. That's who we're talking about. Now, I hope you guys like this video. I hope I explained everything very thoroughly. I hope I gave you the information you need. Like the video if you want to see more videos from me. Sorry, more videos like this. Subscribe to me if you want to see more videos from me. And comment who you want to see next. And I'll see you all in the next video. See you guys. Love you.